guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today I'll be doing a Bible study. I have to admit I haven't done them in a while because I've only done one video, so I apologise for that. But for today I just thought that I'll just dive straight in. So the verse that we'll be looking at is in the book of John, chapter 9, verse 1 to 5. So this is just a selection of a story within John. But I thought that I would go through the rest of the story another time in a later topic that I'll be doing. So on that note, let's read through John chapter 1 verse 5. And it says, "As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. Rabbi," which means teacher. His disciples asked him, "Why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins?" "It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins," Jesus answered. "This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. We must quickly carry out the tasks assigned us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. But while I am here in the world, I am the light of the world." So here we see the disciples questioning Jesus. And I just find it interesting how they do that, because at this stage they are learning from Jesus. They are following his every step. And then later on with the Bible, we then realise that after Jesus ascended into heaven, they took on Jesus' role within his teachings so that God's word could continue to spread within the world. But at this stage, they're just learning and they're answering questions so then they could expand their knowledge more and really experience God's power, which I find interesting, which is what we should do. We should sometimes find the time to speak to God, to question God in a way so that we can learn from him and so that we can take the information that we learn and give that word to other people so then they could learn from it too. But when we read on, I love Jesus's answer. And it says, "It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him." So it's a case of the man wasn't born blind because God punished him or his parents. So when we look at the title of the story, because there's little titles within the Bible, it says Jesus heals a man born blind. So we know that the man is going to be healed. And when we read through this, especially when it says the power of God could be seen in him, it's a case of when the man gets healed by Jesus, that's when the man will acknowledge the power of God because he has felt it through his healing. And that's when he will start telling his friends that he has been healed. And his friends would have known him to be blind. So they can physically see the power of God by the fact that he has been healed. And then that will just change the whole perspective on things, their views on things. And then when we read on to the part where it says, "The night is coming and then no one can work, but while I'm here in the world, I am the light of the world." So Jesus is saying that. And this bit especially gets to me, it really gets to me. And it's basically saying that even when we're asleep, even when we are resting from a hard days of work, God is still working. No matter what time of the day it is, he's constantly working. And Jesus then goes on to say, "I am the light of the world." And it's true, Jesus is the light of the world. Because when we look at this story, Jesus reveals light to that blind man by healing him. Because if you think about it, I can't imagine what it would be like being blind. But since you won't be able to see anything, you'll be basically living your life in darkness, because there'll be nothing else that you can see. So it's a case of that when Jesus healed the man, it then helped the man to see what it's like to actually have light in his life, have that hope in his life, that whenever he is in a dark situation, God will always be there to share his light. But in this situation, the darkness is physical because of him being blind. When it refers to us, God is the light within every dark situation that we go through. And when we truly believe, that's when God's light will shine the brightest. And through his light, that's when we can see. And although we can't see God, it's not a case of seeing him physically, but it's a case of seeing him through other people. It's a case of seeing him through all the good things that people are doing, so charity work and missionaries, etc. So this then links to the whole idea of there being hope even in the toughest of times, because this man had a hard life being blind. He had to spend his whole life trying to figure out the right way to go, and then Jesus suddenly heals him and gives him a second chance to live life to the fullest. So, from listening to me explaining this particular passage to you guys, I hope that you guys have learned something from this and have taken something away from this. And maybe you have your own ideas. I would advise reading the whole story just for another time, just in case I'll be using any of this passage for any other topics. And I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.